Hello, everyone. So, I'm very excited to speak with you all about a few artists, a couple of artists, and the word self portrait. You might have already started with your class and talking about the word identity. And that word is going to help us think more deeply about who we are and where we come from and who is in our lives. Everything from our food and our culture and our languages and our beliefs. And art is such a great way to express who we are. And one word I want to share with you all as we are thinking about identity and sharing more about each other is the word self portrait. And I'm curious, how many of you have heard the word self portrait? What do you think that means? Could you describe a self portrait? Maybe take a guess? I brought in this artist, Frida Kahlo, who loves making self-portraits. Some of you might remember last year we talked a little bit about Frida. And see how beautiful she is? This is her right here. And this is a self-portrait. A self-portrait is when the artist creates a work of art, a photograph, a painting or drawing, and they draw themselves. They make a picture of what they look like. And that's what she did. She has so many colors in her self-portrait, in this painting of her. And we're going to be thinking about that. So that is an example of one of her many self-portraits. And here's another book again, Frida. That is her name. She is an artist and is famous for drawing herself and painting herself. Of course, it's a little baby Frida. And in this book, she didn't paint this, but it's an example of many ways that she has created herself. And we're going to zoom in and take a closer look. I wish I could give you all a copy so you can trace with your finger. What shapes do you see? And lines do you see? I'm tracing some with my finger. But shapes and lines and colors are going to help us make our own self-portrait. And I want you to pay close attention to even the colors that Frida, chose to use to represent her. I love her hair. Do you see how dark her hair is? It kind of looks like my hair. Some of you might recognize little things in her as well that you also have. Her cheeks have a bit of color of red. And I like that warmness. And we can see throughout her whole skin tone what colors are popping out. What color do you think that is? What does it look like? And is it more than one color? I know I'm seeing a lot of warm colors. The reds, oranges, browns, and yellows. Look right there by the eyes where it gets a little bit darker. And by the ears, my friends. Tracing her ear, the shape of her ear. What's the shape of her ear look like? Same with her face. Where else could we trace? Her neck. Look how she decided to draw her neck and her neckline where her dress starts. Isn't that such a big curve? This is going to help us make our own self-portraits. So many shapes that we've already been practicing. Now, let's look at the person next to Frida. So we talked about if Frida did a self-portrait, this person right here is a portrait, not a self-portrait, but the word portrait. Frida did a painting of herself, but this right here is someone she painted. So it's not about her, but it's about someone else. So if we see a work of art where it's a different person and not the artist, then that is called a portrait. A portrait is a work of art of someone else, not the artist. Portrait, see, again, someone else that she decided to paint. And then this is a self-portrait because the artist painted themselves. So this is a painting of her that she created herself. Portrait, self-portrait. Hopefully, you can share this with people in your life that you know the difference between portrait and self-portrait. And it's okay if you forget. We're going to probably talk about this ongoing. Portrait, being able to show features of someone else, and then self-portrait, where you are drawing things that you recognize in your own self, what you see, how you see yourself. And this is a sneak preview, but this is me. This is my drawing of myself. So this is my self-portrait. And you can see I made similar shapes. I have my curved lines like Frida did. I have a circle. See, look at that. Kind of that slight curved line. Look at her curved line. Oh, yeah. I have my neckline. Just like her, I have a neckline. She had a dress. I did a t-shirt. And then she chose to put a solid color in her background, and I wanted to do this for my background. You all are going to have the opportunity to decorate your background for your self-portrait however you want. You can fill it with all the things that represent who you are. Again, we are talking about culture and language and the word identity. So this will be a chance for you to do that. I kept it with colors and I decorated myself. So again, we have a self-portrait and a portrait. And our goal this week is to focus on self, just like Frida. And one last thing, my friends, is I want to introduce this artist right here. Her name is Michele Wood, and look what she did. Look at her neck. You see how long it is? That's how she decided to paint herself. So this is hopefully gives us some more ideas that everyone is going to draw or paint themselves in a different way, and that will make it so special. She did such a long neck. And what shape do you think this is? Her shoulders. Very interesting shape. And look at her nose. It's long. And the way she did her eyes. I see a curved line. I see curved line for her lips. Her mouth is closed. And look at her ear. And the colors that she decided to use for her skin. I see reds and yellows and even blues and greens. It's just so pretty. And look how she also decided to do her, not just her skin tone, like the eyelids blue, but there's also a little bit of color in her hair. Do you see that? And what's happening in her hair? There was just like so many things going on. And her background looks different from my background and from Frida's background. Her background has, it looks like designs or patterns. And right here again, Michele Wood. So I'm going to read a little bit of what this says. And it says, as a child, I often imagine myself as Sleeping Beauty. Oh my goodness. I love Sleeping Beauty. Princess of the make-believe African kingdom of Koro. That's how I painted myself here. My hair is plaited in a royal crown of braids, and in my crown are 6 figures of me as paintbrushes. Ooh, showing different stages of my childhood. I'm playing with a hula hoop, riding a bike, reading storybooks, painting a picture, running track, and learning to sew. The panels in the quilt show important times in my life. On the left, my mother is holding me as a baby. On the right, my mother and I are sitting on the kitchen floor playing jacks. I was an only child, and my mother would always participate in little games with me. My character is strong, fearless woman, symbolizing the well-being of my people. I am free of fear, ready to forge ahead, hand in hand with my ancestors. So this really helps us see what she did. So all in the background is her mother, her memories. She decided to put that as part of her identity, as part of her self-portrait. Such a beautiful thing. And I really hope, my friends, that looking at this artist, this Black artist, and her powerful and colorful work will give you all some inspiration and hopefully help you think about, what do you want for your self-portrait? What do you want to show others about you? How are you going to paint or draw your nose, your eyes, your hair, your background, and your clothing? Will it say something about your culture, your family, your memories? There's so many little things that you can add to share with your friends about who you are. And in the next video, you're going to have a chance to draw with me and create your own self-portrait. So in a little bit, I am going to ask you all to grab some art materials, and it can be any art materials that you want, from paint to colored pencils, maybe construction paper, and to get ready because you are going to make your own self-portrait. And I want to encourage you to, my artists, that it doesn't have to be perfect. We saw 3 different self-portraits: Michelle's self-portrait, Frida's self-portrait, and you also saw mine. Everyone is going to have something different, and I cannot wait to see. Have fun drawing!